Hey everybody, this is Joey at Boomtown. All right, let's get started. Give me one moment. I'm going to display my screen. All right, so appreciate everybody joining. I'll record this so everybody will get an email by the end of today or tomorrow. Feel free to ask questions during the webinar. I want to make this very interactive. There's someone working on our internet outside. I'm not too concerned, but just in case it goes off, I'm calling through my phone to just tell me that the screen has died. But you should see my screen right now. It should say Swipe Symbol Overview 2020. We're going to go through Swipe Symbol as a whole, the mobile product, the terminal, the register. I want to keep today focused around, answering your questions as well as helping you understand why this has been a very, successful terminal out in the field, how to sell it, and keep it a little bit more conversational. I've seen a lot of Swipe Symbol webinars, and it's just kind of a lot of feature overloading. Let's actually talk about what's working and how it's working and why, obviously, it's a great solution to sell. So to start, what's great about Swipe Symbol is it's backed by a really stable company, Cardflight. They're agnostic. They do not do their own processing. They're not a PayFac. So what's really exciting about that is that they really are focused around their reseller channel, and they're all in on the reseller channel. They have a great conference this week in Florida. They're really just, again, a stable company that's not going anywhere. So I am always excited to, sell their stuff because they're always coming out with new features and always kind of listening to their partners as well. So just letting you know that, that's always an exciting piece of it, that, you're working with a stable company that, obviously has a lot of great intentions to grow and do better. We're going to talk about how, mobile versus terminal versus actual, dashboard, and there's this register as well. There's a lot of solutions that come along with Swipe Symbol. So it's kind of an all-in-one product, and there's different ways to use Swipe Symbol for different verticals. So we'll go through each of those verticals and talk about really what's helpful. We'll also basically go through, if you aren't selling this today, also just feel free to reach out to me directly. I'll make sure my email is public. It's joey@goboomtown.com. Sending it right now. If you can't sell it through your existing organization, come reach out to me. A lot of your acquiring ISOs or partners already sell it, so you should be good to go. It does work with most of the processors, especially the big ones like TSYS, WorldPay, First Data, and they have direct integrations with all of these. So, definitely, it's pretty agnostic. Just let me know personally if you're having trouble selling it. I can definitely set you up with some good groups. When Swipe Symbol got started, they started as kind of this mobile product, which was a replacement for Square. And what was helpful about that is that they basically were getting a lot of those food truck, contractors out in the field, anyone who wanted to take mobile payments. They were kind of ahead of the curve, and they were right there with Square, making sure that anybody who, more consumer-like or contracting-like merchants could take payments on the go. And their mobile app is really easy to use. You can actually demo it. If you just download it on your iOS or Android device, you can demo some of the software. But they have items, they have a cart, you can do tip, tax, digital receipts. All of that is available with a mobile reader. You can do NFC and chip and pin payments. So a lot of great things coming out of just the mobile reader in general. One thing that's very helpful with the Swipe Symbol mobile device is that you can just do like refunds, see all your transactions, at the on the mobile device or on your computer at home. When you log into your Swipe Symbol account with the same login on your mobile device, you'll see all your transactions, sales reports, basically a lot of different things that you'll have available there. And we'll go through like virtual terminal, recurring payments, a lot of great features they have for no extra fee. So you can basically go in there and you can actually, utilize this from a virtual terminal standpoint versus just having it in the mobile. So I think that's very helpful because as you're looking at a whole landscape of different types of merchants, you can actually go after each vertical and say that, we kind of have everything you need right here with the Swipe Symbol mobile. Not going to go through all of this, but just wanted to throw this out there, and I'll give you guys this deck after as well with the recording. But just a lot of great things that you can that come along with it, with the level 2 interchange, customizing the settings, card on file, scheduling recurring installment payments, create an invoice, send an invoice to an email. Very helpful for like anyone who maybe is doing has like a car dealership, anybody who's maybe doing roofing, electricians love this. There's a bunch of different small businesses that love it. And then the terminal was built for more of the retail, small restaurant. And we'll talk about that here in a moment. There are different types of card readers as well. As I was mentioning, there's different types of payments that you can take. There's Bluetooth, low energy, and then there's the actual B250 to 420 with this EMV transaction that has a long battery life, so easy to throw in your pocket and carry around with you if you're doing payments on the go. And then, as I mentioned, there's the ability to demo the product as well. So you just basically download the application on their phone. You can demo it yourself. You can show them that this is compatible on an iPad. It's compatible on a PAX device. And then the actual virtual terminal, visit these sites and you can go in there and see what the virtual terminal actually looks like and how the dashboard looks for the merchant. So that's what's exciting about that, is it really just show you how this all goes in place. And then this is the terminal. This is what I've been really excited about, right? They put the swipe symbol software on a PAX terminal. So now you have it on mobile for iPhone, Android, iOS, I should say, even iPads, or an Android tablet. But now you also have it available integrated to a PAX terminal, which is super helpful. And someone just asked if it works on TSYS. Yes, it does work on TSYS. So what's great about this is you can actually use the same software, the same demo that you have on your iOS or Android that you can just download right on your phone. Is going to be the same experience you're going to see on the PAX A920 or the A80. The benefit of these terminals, though, is that they have the printer embedded. It's a little bit more of a storefront-like terminal. So we've talked about mobile so far and how you can kind of go out there for the contractors, maybe even a small salon. Go out there for, again, those contractors out the field. This is more for a retail shop, cafe, maybe even a small, small restaurant, depending on, what they're doing right now for transactions. Anyone who has a brick legacy terminal should replace it with a PAX A920, in my mind. It's a much better experience. You have the ability to, take all of your transactions, see everything on your dashboard, run your business from home, which I think anyone can agree is a much better experience than using a brick terminal and just kind of doing a batch out at the end of the night, having your team basically have to go through and count everything and do a report, all handwritten, which obviously there's room for failure. And that's what I usually tell the merchants is, don't let there be room for failure. Here's a new smart terminal that's going to capture most of what you need. And, it's definitely not for like full service restaurants. Anyone who needs intense inventory management, right? Anybody who has a catalog between, let's say, 0 and 500 and wants some modifiers, wants some simple reporting, swipe symbol is the right solution for them. And then the software is really easy to use. I like that as well. Like our average training at Boomtown for our partners goes between 20 and 30 minutes. I mean, just depending on if someone's used an iPhone or Android before, then they should be good. I mean, basically it has everything you need right there, the recent receipts. And then there are the ability to do Wi-Fi and cellular enabled terminals. So the A80s on the right side, which is the less expensive terminal, has a physical keypad. Works just as great. It's just, again, another way to sell a terminal if they're maybe price sensitive, because sometimes the smaller merchants are price sensitive. And, you can connect via dial-up, Ethernet, or Wi-Fi. The A920 on the left is just Wi-Fi and cellular. So just giving you a few different options in regards to actually how you're going to connect the hardware, which I think is super helpful in that regard. So again, available on the A920 and the PAX A80. Coming out on more PAX terminals soon, probably some of the dual screen ones we'll see by end of year. And then I'm just putting some features in here that you guys can kind of obviously go through just to validate, and you can look up later as I send out this deck and the recording. And when I said simple to use, the print or email receipt, or the even send text receipt, it all pops up right for you. It's very intuitive. You can see the past transactions on the right side. You can see declines, refunds. You just click a transaction and it really just gives you the options as it would on a mobile device or like a smartphone. So I just tell anyone, like, if you use a smartphone, you should be good to go. Because if anyone is intimidated from moving off a brick terminal, you'll actually, one thing I've always told them to actually help sell is that tips are even more likely. You'll get more likely to get more tips with an easy checkout experience than you will just from someone putting a dollar in a jar. And so that's actually been proven that tips have gone up like 15-20% from digital terminals rather than a brick terminal. So kind of a cool fact to share with your merchants. But here's also a really great just in your face why obviously it's way more powerful than traditional terminal for not much more money. I just want everyone to kind of take a look at that and understand that that's a huge shift. So if you see any brick terminal out there, it's just a no-brainer why they wouldn't have the PAX 820 or the 880. If you see someone else there with a square dongle, of course you can sell the mobile terminal, but if they have a basic brick terminal, that's where I would sell these devices. And then you can co-brand the swipe symbol and control pricing for your merchants. You can basically run, obviously, the shop. If you're going through Boomtown, you guys run the you run your relationships with your merchants. We don't really take your relationships directly. You guys own your relationships, so there's no controversy there. And then again, if you're having trouble selling it, or you don't find the right group to sell it, just reach out to us, me specifically, and I'll help you get. I'll go through which groups you're already working with to see if maybe they already do sell it. And then if you don't have any groups that you're working with, you can just I have a few groups that are really easy to work with. Swipe Symbol Register is a little bit more robust of a POS, let's call it, version of Swipe Symbol, right? So it's integrated with a cash drawer and a printer, all in one iPad, and then basically there's the mobile payment device as you're seeing, which is still kind of the same dongle as you would have for the mobile payments. But it's just a little bit more versatile hardware. All the features are still included. On the register, though, it's going to be a little bit more optimized to see like those pictures you can see there on the terminal for the items. So all those items, like if you have the same account on your phone, all those items will show up. You'll actually see pictures on the register. So this is a little bit more for behind the counter, a little bit more for robust. Maybe I don't have a mobile terminal. I really want a stationary device. Obviously, it's great to have options. And here's kind of a different way that you can look at different bundles of the hardware, right? So there's the all-in-one bundle on the left that's actually kind of designed by CardFlight. There's the bundle in the middle, which you can get through any kind of hardware provider like TVG or POS Portal with an existing cash drawer or printer. And then iPad everybody has. So if they have maybe a other point of sale already and they want to switch over to something that's a little bit less expensive, like Swipe Simple, they have the ability. And then all the mobile products on the right side. So that's super helpful, again, to match up your vertical to each of those. And then what I really like is on the computer, right? The ability to go in there on any of these devices, no matter what bundle you have, you're still going to have the same experience. Now, if you do have virtual terminal or recurring payments, I believe you do need 2 MIDs with Swipe Symbol, so you'll need an additional MID for online. But the virtual terminal is super helpful just to do, again, a credit card transaction on your computer or someone calls over the phone, as well as, you can keep all your customers in there, keep card on file. That's obviously super helpful. To change tax rates, to change items, you can do that on your computer as well. And that will obviously reflect onto the mobile device or the terminal. So if I want to add items on my computer, because I obviously don't want to do that on the device, it's too small, my fingers are too stubby for it, you have the ability to do that all on your computer, manage your business, again, from home, which is super helpful. And then level 2 interchange qualification, which is, depending on what you're selling and who you're selling for, again, compatible with most of the major processors, First Data, Global, TSYS, WorldPay, Vantiv, so you have the ability to sell this through all those acquirers. I don't know if you can sell with the acquirers, but you can board with that processing. So just want to be clear there. And then you can keep all your customers in there, which is super helpful to kind of see customer spend and transaction volume and schedule those recurring payments with your customers. Invoices I love because you can send an invoice, you can actually set a date to send the invoice, and you can put your logo and coloring on there. It basically sends a secure payment link to their email. They go in there, they accept, they put in their credit card information, and they pay the invoice. That all reflects on the transactions. So that all reflects back on your online payments, basically after they've done the invoice. And again, this is all available through demos. So you can go into the mobile app or the dashboard, just download the Swipe Symbol app on your iPhone and on your, in the App Store of iOS, and it's available. There's no cash discount or surcharge today. Cash discount and surcharge is not something they've been focused on. They're probably going to focus on, they might do a surcharge feature here shortly, but they've had a lot of success without it right now. So they're probably going to start, that's something that's on their roadmap, and they've been exploring with me personally on how they can add that into their feature set. They'll probably start with surcharge because the regulation around surcharge is a little bit more defined than cash discount, and then they'll go to cash discount depending on where we are legally across the country. Surcharge is a pretty defined law in most states, and cash discount is still not necessarily defined. So the dashboard also does reporting for you, which is going to be like sales reports, transactions, seeing your top customers. Just again, you don't have to batch out on the brick terminal at the end of the night. You now have this whole mobile aspect of your business, which is going to be super helpful, for your merchant. So that's a great selling point. One of the things I always ask the merchant as I'm cold calling or walking in there is, hey, how do you manage your business at home? Like, right, you don't want to be selling features. You don't want to be going through there and just saying, yeah, here's a terminal, that's ABC. I want to start a conversation. That's what you need to do with sales, to start a conversation. One of the things I always do is I always look at the street. I basically will go through Yelp. I'll kind of highlight the ones that are, probably the most, I think would be the most acceptable of swipe symbols. Get their email, send them an email, and say, hey, my name's Joey. I won't even sell. It's like, I'm going to come by on next Thursday. Would love to know if you're there. I'm going to, I'd love to show you our new smart terminal. Just kind of give a quick introduction to myself. Don't splurge a whole bunch of information, and then actually walk in and say, hey, I sent an email last week. I was going to say, I noticed you had a Verifone, VX520. How do you manage your business from home today? Kind of have some questions going into that conversation to help, start a conversation, right? Sales is all about starting a conversation and leading a conversation. If you go in there and you just start talking about it, it's not going to be a good conversation. So, how do you manage your business from home? If they do have a brick terminal or they have another maybe let's say they have a smart terminal. One of the things is I just kind of identify what it is, and then saying, hey, how long have you had that smart terminal for, right? Or what do you like about that terminal, right? Get them talking, and then you could easily get into the transition of, I have Swipe Simple. It's on the tax device, super cost effective. Here's what it has. So here's three things. I always pick three things. So again, I don't oversell. Just you can do reporting from home. You can do all your, you can basically do a small inventory menu for your clients, and it has digital receipts. Just pick whatever you think is the most compelling to those merchants, and they'll typically be pretty reactive to that. If you try to oversell and sell too much, they will get a little, a little hesitant. All right, so that's basically it so far. If you guys have any, I didn't want to give you too much. We already went through 30 slides. So if you have any additional questions, let me know. I'll give you this deck. I know that a lot of it can be explanatory, but also the deck, you can also go download, as I mentioned before, the demo on your iOS or Android. This is public, so just go in there, download it, and then you can start using it. You can get these links, and you'll be good to go. And then you'll be good to start selling Swipe Simple. So I don't see too many questions, but let me know if you have any questions. Do you see something about taxes? Taxes are available to adjust on the terminal and on the dashboard at home. So again, wanted to keep it short and to the point. That's what your sales should be when you're out there speaking to your merchants. Definitely reach out to me if you're having trouble selling this, and I can give you a little bit more tips on what's working. But again, I typically line up those bundles with each vertical. If I'm talking to an electrician, if I'm talking to a contractor out in the field, I'm going to talk about mobile. If I'm talking to a small cafe, a small retail shop down here on Main Street, I'm going to talk about terminal. If I'm talking to someone who has a lot of fast transactions, need something a little bit more stable than terminal, I'm going to talk about register. So, find anyone who's using a brick terminal, have this be the replacement. Even like doctor's offices, dentist offices, they usually have a brick terminal. They have their own software like POS device or whatever they're doing to manage their customers, but they typically have a brick terminal right on the counter. They want something better looking. The PAX A920 is perfect for that. Doctors have money. All these dentists, they have money. They're happy to throw a few $100 for something that looks nice and makes their business look a little bit more aesthetic. So definitely kind of keep your eye out for those brick terminals and have this be the replacement on the PAX A920 and the A880. Again, the A880 is a pin pad, it's Ethernet. It's a little bit more, it's a little bit for the merchant who doesn't want to spend too much, or you're just trying to convert quickly. So make sure you have that in mind. But let me know if you guys need anything else. Really do appreciate you joining. Hopefully this was quick and intuitive. I don't see, again, too many questions, so we'll talk with you all soon. And you'll get a recording and the deck shortly, hopefully this afternoon. All right, everybody. Have a good day. Happy selling.